Bucky good in the ball.
Santel all the way to the basket. Foul. Lays it in for two.
Happy holidays, basketball fans. Welcome to another edition of the Upstate Hoops Podcast. I'm Jim Seneca here inside the FingerLakes1.com studios on the third floor of the North Park building in Seneca Falls, New York. It's our weekly roundup of Wayne Finger Lakes High School basketball for the Upstate Hoops Podcast edition, Sunday, December 9th, 2018. And not coming at you live. We're recording this on Saturday, and we'll be releasing it to you at our normal time on Sunday morning. So we won't have results of Saturday night's action, which there's just some girls' games on the slate in the Wayne Finger Lakes. But a lot to get to. Weekly wrap-up, spotlight games that we want to take a look at, some big matchups, some great individual performances. We're going to play back some interviews over the past few weeks from our live games that you may have missed. A great interview with Dean Schott, the new head coach of Lyons. We're going to fill you in on our live game webcast schedule over the next 2 weeks. We're going to release our new Wayne Finger Lakes power rankings towards the end of the show. So it's going to be a good one. A lot of stuff I want to talk about. Saw some good games over the past week. And I should remind you that the Upstate Hoops Podcast and all of our coverage of Wayne Finger Lakes High School basketball is brought to you thanks to the support of Generations Bank and by Little John Orthodontics. And, of course, Bill Cram Chevrolet. All roads lead to Bill Cram Chevrolet on 5 and 20 between Seneca Falls and Waterloo. So before we get into it, I want to remind everybody again about our new call-in system. Nobody's really taken advantage. They have on some of our other shows here in the studio, but just call 1-866-315-FLX1. That's 866-315-3591, and then hit extension 803 and then leave your message. I want to hear some reaction to what you think specifically about our power rankings, if there's something you disagree with, if you were at a game and you saw something awesome that happened, you just wanted to share it with us, or if you wanted to, talk about some players or teams that you think that we're overlooking, definitely want to have you call in and make this show more interactive. So that would be 866-315-FLX1, extension 803. All right. So looking at some of the games this week, let's start with the boys. Not going to go through all the results every week, just the games of interest. They're all of interest, I suppose, but it's just an hour-long show. Penn Yan beat World of Inquiry 49-48 in Penn Yan on Monday night, and that was it's interesting to me that Finger Lakes East. Okay, we know Wayne's at the top. Newark has shown, too, that they might be the biggest challenge to Wayne in the Finger Lakes East this year. But then there's everybody else, and I don't know who's going to finish third or who's going to finish seventh. It's really that wide open, so it's fun to see these teams finally playing because we're starting to learn a little bit. And one of the teams that we were a little disappointed in after their opener that we webcast against Greece Olympia is Waterloo. But, man, did they bounce back with an 80-50 win on the road at Bath Haverling on Tuesday. And, I think they picked up another win, too, last night. Also on Tuesday night, East Rochester beat Sodus on the road 53-49. Sodus is one of those teams in Wayne County that I like the look of their roster, and I think they're going to be pretty good. East Rochester don't know a lot about. We're going to get a look at them on Thursday night at the Atwood when we live webcast the Lyons East Rochester. That's Thursday night. But nice road win for ER, 53-49. And then the game of the night on Tuesday night had to be Wayne and Leadership. Leadership came into the Eagles' nest in Wayne. Leadership perennially one of the powers of A2, and Wayne, of course, two-time defending A2 champs. But I think it'll be harder this year than the previous 2 years for Wayne to win A2 because A2 is stacked and is evidenced right here. Leadership, you remember they got upset by Northeast Douglas in the semifinals last year in A2, and then Wayne went on to beat Douglas because everybody thought leadership was going to be the biggest hurdle for Wayne in sectionals. And leadership came into Wayne and won 83-72. Wayne got down early. They came back, eventually tied it, and in the end, leadership pulled away. But good games by some Wayne Eagles. Jaden Burley, probably his career high at 24. Logan Blankenberg had 22 points, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists. And again, this is against leadership, one of the best teams in Section 5. Nick Carmichael, 15 points, 8 rebounds. Billy Thompson, 5 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. It's a tough loss for Wayne in the fact that it's in A2, but I'm sure that Coach Thompson would rather beat leadership in February or March than early December. So, moving on to Wednesday night, I thought Lyons having to play at Gananda was going to be their biggest test in Wayne County, and it came early in the season. And Gananda was hanging tough. It was tied, or they were only up a few points going. Our Lions was only up a few points going in the fourth quarter. Lions pulls away 87-70, though. It's like at the end they just kind of pulled away, and Justice Smith had foul trouble in this one. He had picked up his 4th foul towards the end of the third quarter. But he finished with 22 points. David Weaver had 17 on 4 3-pointers. Aaron Romero had 14, and Amir James had 13. And for Gananda, it was Jaden Castrochini with 20, Tim McClure with 20, Andrew Gabbard with 12, and Jerry Brongo with 12. So I think, look, Lyons is head and shoulders above everybody else in Wayne County. Gananda's got a really good basketball team, and I think even though Gananda's C1 and Lyons is C2, that Gananda's lucky not to be in there. Everybody's lucky not to be in C2, except for Bloomfield, I think, is in C2. But Gananda is a sectional contender, let's put it that way, despite this loss to Lyons. Lyons is a sectional favorite. Also on Wednesday night, a heartbreaking loss for Brian Miller's Geneva Panthers. They lose at the buzzer on a jump shot by Trevor Chamberlain, 50-48 at the hands of Honeoye Falls Lima. Reed Patchett had 10 points and 7 rebounds. Christian Tapscott had 8. Nick Askin had 8. And the tough part about this one is that Liam Ryan still wasn't back, and Akeem Hudson isn't back yet, too. I mean, these are two. When I saw what Penfield did to Geneva and Waterloo, he needs another big guy down there so he doesn't have to draw all the attention every time the ball goes anywhere near the paint. So hopefully Hudson will be back soon. Liam Ryan did debut last night in a win at Midlakes that I'll get to in just a moment. Bloomfield at South Seneca. This was also on Wednesday night, a game that we streamed live, so I watched this one, and boy, I was really impressed with Bloomfield, the way they move the ball, the way they have so many guys that can score. So I was really impressed. 73-50, they beat South Seneca. Tanner Kimball had 27 points, including 19 in the first half. They had 26 points after the first quarter as a team. Alex Roach had 17, and Simon Willie had 14. That's a really good 1-2-3 punch right there of scorers for Coach Maston's Bombers. For South Seneca, though, didn't know what to think about South Seneca until I saw them, and they didn't shoot it well, but they kind of hung with Bloomfield after the game got underway. They really built an early deficit. But Nate Knowles had 12 in that game, and Nate Knowles is a freshman, and he's one of those freshmen that doesn't really look like a freshman. And I think that South Seneca basketball is back on the upswing, and we're going to have 4 years of Nate Knowles ahead of us, which will be pretty good because you should watch this kid play. He's a good basketball player as a freshman, and so hopefully he'll continue to improve and they can build around him. Anthony Ruff had 10 points. Jeremy Williamson had 8. Matt Kenyon had 6, and Jack Mott had 6 in the loss for South Seneca. And then going into the night on Wednesday night, we knew that Livonia was coming to Marcus Whitman, and we're like, man, that's going to be a really tough test for Marcus Whitman. But Whitman blew him out. 57-39. Liam Prendergrass had 11 points and 13 rebounds. Seth Benedict had 16 points and 8 rebounds. Ryan Harrod had 15. And Whitman's great team. I don't know who's going to give him a challenge in the West. I actually take that back. I thought Bloomfield was going to give them a challenge in the West after watching what they did to South Seneca. But then Whitman goes into the Bomber Barn in Bloomfield on Friday night, last night, and walks out with a 15-point win, 49-34. Seth Benedict had 15, Ryan Harrod had 14, Prendergrass had 11 rebounds, and they held that Tanner Kimball to 9, Alex Roach to 9, and Mitchell Bliss was their third leading scorer at 6. So great defensive effort by Marcus Whitman, and I think they're going to be obviously really tough for anyone to beat in the Finger Lakes West. They used to be in the East, Whitman. Also on Friday night, Wayne, Penn Yan at Wayne. Penn Yan's better than I thought they were going to be, even though people kept telling me that they're going to be better than people think. But Wayne didn't have a problem. 61-39 on Friday night. Nick Carmichael, Big Country, 17 points, 12 rebounds. Logan Helgado had 12. And Logan Blankenberg flirting with a triple-double for the second straight game with 9 points, 9 assists, and 11 rebounds. For Penn Yan, it was Connor Fingar leading the way with 9. And then some new names here. Mason Coover, 7. Kyle Berna, 7. Brennan Prather, 6. So I got to check out Penn Yan when I get a chance to watch these guys. I mentioned earlier, Geneva snuck by Midlakes 47-45. So two 2-point games for Geneva this week. And they came out on the winning side of this one, losing side of the other. Jagger Kerr, 10 points and 6 rebounds. Reed Patchett, 10 points and 8 rebounds. Devontae Johnson, 8 points, 4 assists, and 8 rebounds. And Liam Ryan, in his season debut, 5.7 steals. Now, Liam Ryan's not there. They probably don't win this game. They need Akeem Hudson back as well. I just think it's a really good team that they have, and I want to see it fully assembled before we get too far into the season. Also, Friday night, Lyons back in action. Justice Smith had 29 points. As they defeated Red Creek 89-61. David Weaver had 25. Justin Tootie Smith had 10. Aaron Romero had 10. And Horace Betts, the fourth, had 8. And for Red Creek, Dan Smith had 17. Damon Jones had 15. And Cyrus Lurch had 13. Last game for the boys I'm going to talk about was a game that I went to last night. Mynderse hosted Newark. And boy, you could tell when you pulled in the parking lot that there was a buzz about this one. The gym was packed, full. And you notice, though, warming up, when the teams were warming up, that Newark has a lot of big athletes. They don't have a Taylor Clements, who's 6'6" or 6'7", but they got a lot of 6 foot, 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" guys with some size. I mean, Mynderse is young. They played 2 freshmen last night, extensive minutes. A lot of sophomores and juniors, just 2 seniors, the 2 front court guys, and Darren Miller and Sal Franzone. But they looked younger. They looked smaller. It was a men versus boys, it kind of looked like. But was interested to see how it was going to play out, especially the one time we did see Mynderse. This was their first game in 11 days. It was at Clyde, where they looked great. And then Newark beat Canandaigua and Victor in their tip-off tournament. So if I had to put a line on this one, I probably would have said it was Newark -8. So I felt like Newark was the favorites on the road, in a place they hadn't won in, I think, 6 years. So they won Friday night, though. They were too much. They jumped out to an early lead and eventually won 64-43. Honestly, if Mynderse looked scared. Mynderse didn't look ready when that game started. And Jaden Peters banked in a 3-pointer, and it was off to the races for Newark, who built a 20-point lead early in the game. And after that, Mynderse kind of hung with them. At one point, they cut it to 7. Jake Smith hit a corner 3. He had 3 3-pointers in this game for Mynderse, and then to cut it to 7. And then immediately Jaden Peters answered on the other end with a 3 of his own, got back to 10, and it was never close after that. But I do have to hand it to Mynderse, given the fact that, like I said, they looked like underdogs out there. Bad start, came back, got it back to single digits. I think Sal Franzone and Darren Miller at times look great out there together. it's the same thing I just talked about with Geneva. You know, Darren Miller can't do it alone. Sometimes Coach Korzeniski had him out at the point. They're trying different things. But the times that he was successful was usually working in conjunction with Fran Zone somehow. So other than that, it was 3-pointers for Mynderse. A lot of 3-pointers. Give you the scoring real quick. For Newark, Jaden Peters had 25. He was great. Mason Vandermoortel was also great with 15. Kyle Martinez had 6. For Mynderse, Darren Miller got 15. After that, it was Jake Smith with 9 points on 3 3-pointers. I wonder what the plus-minus was when Jake Smith was on the court for Mynderse last night. The minutes that he was on the court, you know how in hockey they do the plus-minus? They might have outscored Newark over those minutes. Sal Franzone had 7, and Troy Cabot, just a freshman, had 6, and he's not shy, boy. He lets him fly. He's got a really quick release, and he's going to have some really big games this year as a freshman, and future member of the 1,000-point club potentially before he's done at Mynderse with the points that this kid's going to score, I think. So, yeah, 64-43, and again, that Newark was focused, intense, played great defense, shot it well overall, and they're going to be the main obstacle to Wayne winning the Finger Lakes East for a second straight year. So look forward to that game. I know we got one of their 2 games on Finger Lakes 1. Again, we're not releasing our entire webcasting schedule for you right off the bat, you know. We're going to do it every couple weeks out just so we have the opportunity if we think that there's a stinker on there in February or late January and there's another great game somewhere, we're going to try to cover the good games. So let's switch it over to the girls' side of things right now. Monday night, great win for the Geneva girls at East High, 59-36. Lauren Devaney had 16 points and 6 rebounds. Mackenzie Moore had 15 points and 4 assists. Tuesday night, Penn Yan falls to Rush Henrietta on the road, 48-42. Palmac, also out of the East, losing to a really good Our Lady of Mercy team, 40-30. That one was at Palmac. And then Whitman, the girls do just like the boys and win 48-34 against Livonia. Is that right? Yeah, I think it is. We're going to say it is. So anyways, also on Tuesday night, Lyons. The Lyons girls are off to a pretty good start here. They beat Williamson 56-33 in Williamson. For Lyons, Caden Crago had 17 points and 5 assists. Allison Cook had 15 points and 6 rebounds. Jasmine David had 8. For Williamson, Katie Newby led with 13. And there's a lot of girls' names on this Lyons team that have been there a while, and they're putting together a nice start to their season. I mean, Wayne County girls, I thought Red Creek was going to be one of the contenders. They have not looked good. If anybody's listening from Red Creek, let me know what's going on with the girls team. If you've seen some games, give me some information. Going on to girls, obviously, are always tough. And Marion is starting to look like they're the team to beat. But Lyons might be in that mix this year, so we'll have to see. South Seneca girls at Bloomfield, generally not an easy trip to make. Of course, the Lady Bombers down a little bit this year from last year's team. But South Seneca wins 52-38. Jenna McDonald had 15 points and 6 assists. Jade Parsons had 11 points and 8 rebounds. Emma Fletcher had 10, and Logan Chalice had 11 rebounds. Bloomfield was led by Jesse Sheehan with 18. Staying in the West, Dundee beat Naples 75-45 behind Delane Nolan's 18 points and Mackenzie Straight's 15 points and 13 assists. Mackenzie Cratley's 15 points and 15 rebounds. But the amazing thing about this game is that Naples, of their 45 points, Autumn Coombs scored 41 of them. So 2 other people put the ball through the hoop once for a field goal. And other than that, all the scoring came from Autumn Coons. This isn't the first time it's happened, but I want to go see these Naples girls play because I want to see what that looks like. And, like, It's incredible. 41 points from Autumn Coons, and that's a high score from any Wayne Finger Lakes boys or team, our girls team in terms of single game scoring yet this year. This was a big game. Thursday night, Marion hosted Gananda, and they won 44-39. So there's your two favorites in Wayne County girls action, and Marion with a huge win there. The Marion girls undefeated. East Rochester went to Lyons. Traditionally, a game Lyons would lose, but they won at the Atwood 74-69. Caden Crago, 30 points, 8 steals. Allison Cook, 12. Caitlin McDonald, 9. Latavia Blaisdell, 8 points and 10 rebounds. ER was led by Samantha Lewis with 22. Great wins by Lyons this week. Marcus Whitman hosted Bloomfield and won 45-29. Maddie Ryan had 18 points and 10 rebounds for the Wildcats. So nice win there. Good week in Marcus Whitman. Romulus at Red Jacket, and Red Jacket rolls 77-30. Sydney Close had 29 points and 8 assists. Sarah Van Aken had 18 points and 8 rebounds. Alexis Gardner had 12. Brooklyn Hanley had 11. And Sydney Close, congratulations, 1,000 points. She is just a junior. She's just scored her 1,000th point this week as a junior. Moving on, the Mid Lakes girls hosted Honeoye Falls Lima, a team up in classification, and killed them. Well, won by 20, 66-46. Elena Forbes, 30 points, 7 assists, 6 steals. Kara Walker, 15 points, 8 rebounds. Macy Kisner, 7 points and 7 rebounds. And Lydia Day had 7. There's a tournament going on in Waterloo this weekend with the girls. And last night was the first night. Waterloo beat Aquinas 58-51. Jillian Panic had 14 points in that one. Allie Smith had 11. Tabitha Winter had 10. Mackenzie Barber had 9. And that Mid-Lakes Honeoye Falls Lima was the other half of that. So tomorrow, or today I should say, Mid-Lakes will play Aquinas and Waterloo will play Honeoye Falls Lima. Also last night, Mynderse at Newark. And boy, halftime score was 10-10. In Newark last night, and then Mynderse pulls away, wins 38-24. So we've been out webcasting some games, and there's been we've talked to a lot of people in our interviews, and I want to play back 3 of my favorites I think that we've had so far. The first one is awesome. It's Dean Schott with Rhett Taconi and Michael Alessio after they beat Wilson for his first. That was his second varsity win. But nonetheless, legendary name in Lions basketball. His coach the JV team under when Zach Young was head coach, and this year he steps into the varsity team with varsity job with a very, very good team. And I thought this was a great interview. Appreciate him taking the time to come up, and it was a great conversation. So I'm going to play that one for you first from the Waterloo Hall of Fame Classic. It's Dean Schott.
Couldn't be better, buddy. That was a lot of fun.
It's a nice win.
Huge.
Yeah, and we were just talking. You're missing Benji Kemp, Lucas Lucier, that are 2 tough guys on defense.
We might have grabbed a rebound or 2 tonight if they played.
You said it. We did.
Second half, you stepped it up a little better. I always love the dynamics of basketball anyway, especially with a coach, to wonder what was said at halftime. You know,
right?
What was that locker room like?
Can we please grab a rebound?
Yeah.
And I was explaining to them the reason teams press. The press wears on people.
Yeah.
When they got an 11-point lead early, my guys were like, Coach, we need to get out of the press. No, we don't. This is the reason we press. It's going to wear them down.
Yeah.
Well, we talked a little bit about your style, too, and what you want to accomplish this season with these guys. Obviously, a super athletic team. And you're going to be able to do that to a lot of teams and wear them down. And even with a team, an A team that has a little more athletic than some of the teams you might see, keeping the press on seemed to work in the second half.
That's as athletic a team as we'll play all year.
Yeah.
And if we can press them,
I
would tend to think that we could press anyone.
Yeah. Right.
And we're going to anyway, so
it is what it is.
Yes.
Everybody knows what's coming.
Yep.
Right. I like that.
And I'm not afraid to tell them either.
Right. We talked about that.
Yep.
And we talked with Justice a few minutes ago, and he said it point blank too. The goal is a state championship.
That's it.
And
anything less, it's going to be a little bit of downer for us.
Right. Well, this team's been put together for a while now. These kids have been playing together since they were 10 years old or even earlier, and it's finally coming together with all of them, getting some maturity too. You got some guys that have played together. I think maybe the last couple years maybe looked a little bit more to Justice to just do it all. Where now they're all coming into their own.
They all help
out. They all help out. I mean, Tootie had a good game.
You must be happy with Tootie's game.
Tootie was. I just told him that's the best I've seen him play.
Yeah.
It's the best game I've seen him play.
And he has attitude. I love.
He does. He's not afraid of anything.
No, and I know you guys were talking at the end of the game there, but
we're fine. Though.
Yeah. No, we saw that.
Just hug it out.
And the attitude he has is what's needed to keep guys, guys there. Keep it in the moment.
That was all. I wanted him to be quiet, and he was so mad that they were coming back.
Right.
That finally I just removed him from the huddle, but as soon as it was over, love you, Coach. I love you.
Yeah.
But Rhett knows this. I have that kind of a fiery. I'm not going to listen to it. We're both the same guy. Me and Tootie.
Well, that's And, and it probably won't be the last time.
No.
But it'll be all about ball. It's nothing personal.
And as I said in the locker room, let's wait until we get in the locker room to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Good point. Yeah.
So now you switch back, not very often, between that man and zone a little bit. I mean, is that part of your
yes.
Will that be part of your game plan, change things up, keep people off balance, or did you see something that, hey, we got to go to a man here? Or
we'll switch this. The 2-2-1 that we ran today, we also have a 1-2-2 that we play when Benji's playing.
Right.
But we don't play it without Benji because he's so good at the top of it.
Yeah.
So there's more. I actually, late in the game, if anyone was watching, I went down and tapped him on the face, and I said, what defense you think we'd be in now? And he just put his head down.
Yeah.
Well, what's the prognosis for him?
He'll be back next week, I hope.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Ankle?
Ankle,
okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, last year in the sectional championship game,
came along.
Yeah, I mean that guy is ready to go too, and he's got a good offensive game around the rim
smart.
as well. So yeah,
he's smart, and I'm very, very happy tonight.
Yeah,
but wait till you see us with Benji.
Right.
Wait till you see us with Benji.
And you scored 86 and 83, and he hasn't played yet,
right.
And so only going to get better.
Yes.
I don't feel bad for the rest of the league, being an alum.
Yeah,
But it's going to be fun to watch you guys all season long.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys doing the game. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
It's a good group of kids, and Justice is just such an incredible,
heck of a ball player,
heck of talent, good guy. And then there's some other guy. Weaver hit down a few threes.
David Weaver's better than you saw. He's even better than that.
Yeah. And James as well. I think he'll give you some good spark. And
And one that's really quiet that he wasn't up on the team last year. I don't think until sectional. The Horace Betts.
Knows the game.
Yeah, very smooth, very smart player.
Yep.
Works well on defense.
No attitude.
Yeah, you got a great group. Now I want to know though, was Dad watching?
Dad is watching. Dad,
okay.
I love you. Mom, I love you. Kay, Al, my whole family, I love you guys.
Hey, Coach.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Well, hey. Good luck this season. We look forward to seeing you. We'll be at the Atwood, I think, in a few weeks for the Clyde game.
Love to have you.
I'll be calling that one. I personally asked for that one.
Maybe Dad might be in the building that
that'd
night.
be awesome. We'd love to see him.
All right.
Good job,
buddy. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good job, Coach.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You guys drive safe.
So that was pretty cool interview, I thought. And if there's one thing that I'm feeling pretty sure about this year is that the Lyons is going to be a very entertaining team to follow. They might not be in a lot of close games, but mark this on your calendar. December 28th, we'll be streaming it live from Geneva. They're playing North Star Christian in the first round of a 2-day tournament in Geneva. And this team's just going to be entertaining to watch, entertaining to follow, and just wait till we get into February. And there's going to be some big-time games where we're finally going to see this team, the culmination of everything they've been working for in Lyons, is they make their postseason run. So another interview that I wanted to share with you is our talk with Darren Miller after the Clyde game, Mynderse Clyde game, the opener for both teams, which would have been now 12 days ago, because you didn't hear a lot about Darren Miller last year because he was behind a lot of great players. He was a big part of that Mynderse team that ended up losing in the sectional semifinals, but had a great season. But he had to defer. Now he's the man in Mynderse that's going to have to carry this team if they're going to win games. And so I thought that we would have a listen to the conversation that Kevin Sharp and I had with Darren Miller of Mynderse Academy, senior.
And welcome back to Clyde Savannah High School. Again, we're once again your final Mynderse 55, Clyde Savannah 20. It's the Little John Orthodontics Smiles with Style post-game show. And I'm joined here courtside with our player of the game, senior Darren Miller. Darren, great game, good start to the season. What's it like when you practice all summer and, you finally start the season and then the ball's tipped and you immediately throw one down with the right? It is. Boom!
Nice.
I wasn't even ready to call it. I like to call the dunks, but you caught me by surprise. So
Caught everybody by surprise.
Great game. I got you for 16 points. I don't know how many rebounds, but it's interesting to see you the way they use you on defense as well. You're up top of that 1-3-1, and then the next possession you're down the block. Defensively, do you like being up top like that?
It's definitely tiring, but I love being up there with my length. I mean, I can definitely harass some kids, and I can see that they don't like it.
Yeah.
So when I see that they don't like it, it's definitely a plus for both our team and me because I get a few steals and feels good.
That's a great comment because a lot of defense is making the other team uncomfortable, and you're absolutely right. I could see where their guards got really nervous with your length at the top of that. Plus, if there's a steal, you can get out in transition and finish at the rim. So, congratulations, it was a great job tonight. I came away very impressed.
So, last year, I think you played varsity as a sophomore as well? Came up for sectionals? Yeah.
Yep.
We've been kind of waiting. We see your talent. We know your sister Heidi is a great basketball player. And, in Seneca Falls, I know we've been waiting for you to kind of emerge. And you've always been unselfish to the point where, a lot of great players on the team last year, the past 2 years, very successful teams. But this year is going to come and go as the leader goes. So, how do you feel about that?
I'm definitely accepting my role. We got 2 seniors on the team. I'm one of them. A lot of young guys. I mean, they got great talent. They're just young, a little smaller than the competition. I mean, today they weren't that great of a team, but I know as we get faced Wayne and the bigger teams, that it's definitely going to be a little bit of a problem. But this was a great confidence booster for them, and I'm glad I can lead them.
Yeah, very good. I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, one of the things I was interested in seeing, Darren, was were you ready to step up and be quote unquote the man? And you really looked to me like you were definitely the leader out there. You were very vocal with your teammates. You were getting to open spots, and they were finding you. So, I mean, that to me, that is a compliment to your coach because you guys are really listening to what he's preaching in practice. Yep. I really thought that you guys had a great game plan coming in offensively, but more importantly, defensively. You guys changed defenses just about every trip up the floor.
Oh, yeah.
And it looked like you guys were always in the right spots. So, that comes from a coach, but also comes from a senior leader. And that showed tonight.
Thank you.
One last thing before we get out of here. I know all your teammates. I've known a lot of them since they were toddlers. But to see them all come together now as varsity basketball players, you got some freshmen, you got some sophomores, you got some juniors. Just talk about some of these guys on the team.
Well, we got 2 freshmen, and they're both stepping up big.
Yep.
Troy today, he had I don't even know how
many. He had 9 points all in the second half.
Yeah, 9 points. Troy's not only in the game, but in practice, they can definitely help us get better. Mm-hmm. That was kind of my role when I went up for sectionals 2 years ago. And a few of these guys are accepting that role, and it's awesome that they're able to do that because even though they're not getting minutes, they're happy just helping us improve in practice. And it's definitely showing in the game.
And they're getting better because their practice gets bigger, stronger people in practice. Yeah. So.
And they're not bad players. They're just a little younger and a little unexperienced.
Well, Darren, congratulations. We'll let you get in the locker room with your teammate and get home. I hear it's snowing outside.
All right, thank you.
Congratulations on the win, and good luck. Next game, I think, at Newark, right? Next Friday.
Yep,
home
game.
Yeah, it should be a good one.
Yep.
All right, congratulations, buddy. Good job.
Thank you.
So that was Darren Miller, our player of the game. He's got a free.
So, nice talk. I mean, great kid, obviously. And we're going to see him do some awesome things this year. He threw one down last night against Newark in transition. These aren't like breakaway, nobody around dunks either that I've seen him have so far. Against Clyde, it was the first basket of the season off the tip. I think it might have been, I can't remember who threw the pass to him. It might have been Griffin Herron. Just somebody gave him a pass, and he just took 2 steps and dunked it with the right hand. And it was another right-handed dunk last night against Newark in transition. But with guys trailing the play that were, it was impressive. He'll dunk again, people. He will. So one more interview to get to before then we're going to go ahead and give you our power rankings and the look at the schedule for the week ahead. And this one's with Tanner Kimball from a Bloomfield team that, again, they tough luck being in C2 with Lyons. But, of course, they may not play Lyons. They might have to win a few games to get there. And I think they kind of really liked what I saw of the Bloomfield team, and I was kind of surprised at how easily Marcus Whitman handled them later in the week. But great talking to Tanner Kimball. Dave Barnick and I were at the Jack Guinan Arena, and this is a conversation with Tanner Kimball.
Dave Barnick, Jim Sinacropian again. Tanner, outstanding effort. Your team came out not only running so effectively, fast-paced action, but moving the ball around, and you were leading them all the way. Your team and you in particular had a sensational first half. What do you attribute all that to?
Well, usually when we come down here, don't come out too strong, but we really came out ready to play today and executed our plays and everything we needed to get that first quarter above South Seneca. And I just think we really hustled and came out and really wanted to get ahead. And
you're following up with a stellar beginning to an outstanding season a year ago as a junior. What are the goals for the Bloomfield Bombers this season?
We actually, in the beginning of the season, all tried to set team goals, and one of our team goals is actually to win a league title. Mm-hmm. And obviously with that, we just need to keep playing hard and executing like we did today, and just playing tough D and doing everything that coach expects.
Now, you had 19 points in the first half. Was in the back of your mind you're going to try to catch Pat Geithner last year when he scored 50?
No, I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just playing the way coach expects and the team wants. But Pat definitely had one heck of a game last year, and if it did happen, it did happen. But just try to keep playing.
Yeah. One thing I was talking to Dave during the game that I was most impressed with you guys was how much you share the ball and how you have 4 or 5 guys that can really score it, and so you guys were sharing the ball, you were getting up and down the court. Talk a little bit about some of your teammates.
So actually Simon Willie, number 3, he
likes the 3 too.
Yeah, he does.
Had a good game against Pelmac.
He did, yep. And so we run a play called push to him, and it's pretty much just an open 3 in the corner. That's definitely like where we'll share the ball to him. Another player is Alex Roach, number 4.
Yep.
And he's great driving the ball. We expect him to take several drives throughout the game. And Ryan Hawkins is another threat, close to the boards. He really gets down low and does what he needs to get the ball.
Well, the first 2 players you mentioned, along with yourself, collectively, if I can do the adding, had 58 points among the 3 of you. 27 unofficially for yourself. Alex Roach with 17 and Simon Willie with 14, including those 4 3-balls. He did all that scoring in the first half, where we were hoping for a more competitive game. It was an entertaining game because the Falcons hustled and pushed the ball up court as well, but you guys were dominant.
Right. Yeah, we just, like I said, we just finished off after that first quarter. I think it really just got us going and got us in a good mood to finish off the game strong, even though we thought they would have more of a tough, close game, but we ended up pulling away, and it definitely gave our team some relief.
While I got you here, before we let you go, Marcus Whitman's going to be pretty tough in the West. You mentioned the goals to win the league. What are some of the other teams that you think are going to provide the biggest obstacle to you guys winning the Finger Lakes West this year?
So I think the 2 other teams that we're kind of concerned about is Honeoye is the one team, and then
rivalry game there.
Right.
They got a big guy, Rudolph.
Yep, Tyler Rudolph. He'll
red nose, all that.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
No. But yeah, he's a real good down low, and we just have to box out against him and make sure that we get in front of him when he's down low. And then Red Jacket, they have a couple, very athletic team. We just have to make sure that we just play tough D and do everything as the scouting report says.
What about Naples?
Last year we had a tough game. We played real bad at their place last year. We actually ended up winning it with a buzzer beater, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And but I think that I truly think that we can pull that game out pretty easy. But you never know what to expect tonight. I never expected this. But
while we have you here, Tanner, Tanner. Other sports you play or school activities you like to focus on?
Soccer. I play soccer and I actually run track, but soccer is like my other really main sport that I play.
And future plans, thinking about them at this point?
Like sports-wise?
Well, I was thinking post high school.
Yeah, I want to play. Well, I would like to play soccer in college.
Okay.
Yeah.
Plan to go to school? Great.
Yeah.
We think we have a certificate for this young man.
Oh yeah, that's right.
If you forgot it, I was going to take it.
Cicino's Pizza, large cheese pizza for our player of the game. You can write your name in there when you get home.
Thank you.
But next time you're in Geneva or Waterloo, stop by Cicino's, get that large cheese pizza. Maybe share it with your teammates.
Right, yeah, definitely. They deserve it.
Or call Finger Lakes 1 and we'll meet you there.
Awesome, yeah, that sounds good too.
Happy to have you with us. We wish you all the best the rest of the season for you and your teammates. Tanner Kimball, not the fugitive tonight. He got it done.
Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
Good game, Tanner.
Thank you.
And we'll wrap things up here momentarily.
So it's good having Dave Barnick back in the broadcast booth. That was his first game this year. He's going to call quite a few games this season on Finger Lakes 1. So 3 great interviews, and yeah, that Finger Lakes West. Tanner didn't seem too concerned about Naples. Naples might be the team that finishes in second to Marcus Whitman, or maybe upsets them and sneaks in a share of that title. But Whitman looks really tough to beat in the West. It looks like Naples, Honeoye, Bloomfield. South Seneca boys should get better as the year goes on too. I don't think that was their best effort. That wasn't their best shooting night when they hosted Bloomfield that night on Wednesday. So always entertaining in the Finger Lakes West. We're going to do our power rankings next. And the nice thing about the power rankings, I think that if you're in our power rankings, that you could be considered a sectional contender. And I think once you drop out of those power rankings, it's not very often that we've ever had a team that was not in our power rankings win or even play for a sectional championship. Honeoye boys, I can't remember if they were in the power rankings last year, but they went all the way to the D1 championship and lost to Clyde. But very rare. So this is kind of a barometer of teams that we think we're going to be following into the postseason this year. And so let's start with the girls. Gananda, with the loss this week to Marion, drops down to 10. Penyan girls debut at 9, although they probably should have been in there last week. We're not. We make mistakes here too, and that was one of them. Mynderse girls dropped to 8, and Wayne drops to 7. Waterloo, I think, up 1 to 6. Again, they play Saturday night. Normally this podcast is live on Sunday, so those games aren't figured into this week's power rankings. Marion girls probably should have seen it coming after a decent season last year, but they're up to 5. I think that we overlooked them. They were unranked for the first in our preseason poll and in our first week, and here they are at number 5. Geneva 4. Geneva's pretty strong. Palemac 3 also. Those are it's again, who's going to battle Mid Lakes for the Finger Lakes East. And I think both those teams will have good shots. South Seneca Lady Falcons up from 3 to 2. I I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. I've always loved like the style of play and just the names. They continue to cycle through great players. And I just think this team is every bit as good as the teams of the past 3 years. You know, teams that went to the state Final Four and teams that won the Finger Lakes West and 3 straight sectional titles. They're going for 4 this year. You know, they lost to Weedsport out the gate, a really good Weedsport team. And that maybe made some people think that they weren't as good as that. But I think they are. I think they'll continue to get better, too, because they have some key players who are still pretty young. But Jade Parsons in the middle, and Jenna McDonald. And, they're every bit as good. Mark my words. Mid-Lakes number 1. Might be there all season long. Just a fantastic team that Nate Rich has. And so we'll move it over now to the boys' side of things. And you'll see right away there's a big change at the top. Lyons, number 1, Wayne 2. Wayne lost the leadership. How can you blame him? How can you fault him for that loss when Lyons generally isn't playing a team? Well, when they play North Star, that'll be kind of equivocal to Wayne playing leadership at home. So that's December 28th. These two teams aren't going to lose many games. And it's a shame that they won't play each other. I just wish there's some way that they could have lined up a game this year, because that's the game I want to see. And it will never happen. We'll never see it. They're in different classes completely. And we won't see Lyons Wayne this year, although that would have really been something. But who's better? Like, why would we put Lyons at 1 and Wayne at 2? Like, you know, like I said, the leadership loss for Wayne did knock him out of 1, but that's I think it would be an incredible game. I think that if Wayne let Lyons speed it up, that Lyons would win, and if Wayne was able to control the tempo, that Wayne will win. And I don't think that Lyons has anybody that could handle Nick Carmichael inside. And Wayne's zone isn't going to stop Justice Smith from shooting over it. Yeah, we'll never know. But right now, Lyons 1, Wayne 2, Newark 3, a solid 3, in my estimation, with the opportunity to jump into the top 2 when they eventually square off against Wayne. After that, everything could change. I have no idea what's going on outside those top 3. Penn Yan's all the way up to 4. I think they've been among the most impressive. Mynderse at 5. Again, you know, they kind of hold steady after losing pretty badly at home to Newark. I just don't know how many really good teams there are this year. Some of these teams are going to end up being better than we thought and maybe get into that elite status. But I talk about the power rankings being sectional contenders. Geez, I don't know if there's a sectional favorite in the bunch once you get outside the top 3. But Geneva, again, like I mentioned, has not been able to assemble their full arsenal. They're in B1 with Newark, so when they square off against Newark, that'll be a pretty interesting game. And then Marcus Whitman at 7. Again, I think they're going to... are they C1 this year? You know what? I got to check before we go any further. Hold on. We can take a look right here together. Let's see what we got. Yeah, Whitman's C1 with all those other Wayne Finger Lakes teams. And you know what? I don't see a team in there other than Gananda and maybe Sodus. Again, I haven't seen ER yet, but I like, out of all those Wayne Finger Lakes teams, I like Whitman the best as a contender in C1, along with probably Gananda. And again, you know, Red Jacket and Marion, good luck if you, or Bloomfield, good luck if you have to square off against Lyons in C2. And then C3, you see a lot of those teams that were D1 last year. And out of that bunch, that's why I said, I think you're talking to Dave Marnick, South Seneca can contend in C3. So can Naples. So can Ryan Hilton and HAC and Dundee's decent. Clyde Savannah's only going to get better. I don't know about a lot of the other competition in C3 outside the Wayne Finger Lakes, but I think all those teams should be thinking that they can make a run in C3. And, B2 Mynderse and Penn Yan, luckily for those two teams that B has split because I don't think they're the same class as Newark. But as far as B1 goes, Geneva, Newark, Waterloo maybe, Pelmac and Mid-Lakes, probably not this year. And then A2, of course, Wayne defending champs, two-time defending champs. And then in D1 and D2, Honeoye could return. I think they need to improve. And Romulus hasn't looked great so far, But yeah, anyways, back to the power rankings. Marcus Whitman's certainly a contender in C1, as is Gananda, who comes in at 8, and Waterloo. And then Naples sliding in there at number 10. And I'll predict this as well. All those teams from Penn Yan all the way down to Naples, they're all going to change. There are going to be some new teams popping in and teams falling out. I think it's just it's pretty wild. So it's exciting when you look for the results every night to see how it all shakes out. So those were our power rankings, and I guess next we're going to take a look at the week ahead. Actually, before we do that, I want to talk about our live webcast schedule coming up here. This Tuesday, we'll be in Waterloo. We're going to get our first look at the Wayne Eagles. We'll see how the Wayne train travels on a Tuesday night in December down to Waterloo. It's a big gym. We'll see how filled, and we'll see how much support Waterloo gets, because I think that this team is very intriguing. I think they could be very good, and they're going to get the test of the year against Wayne. So can't wait to be there courtside with Kevin Sharp. I'm calling that one with Kevin Sharp. And then on Thursday, to the Atwood for the first time this year, East Rochester at Lyons. Don't know a lot about East Rochester. We're going to try to find out before the game starts. And again, watching this Lyons team play in the Atwood, coached by Dean Schott, I can guarantee you it'll be entertaining TV. Must-see TV. It'll be must-see TV. And then back to the Jack Guyon Arena the following Tuesday after our Upstate Hoops podcast next week. I can't say exactly what time it will be next week because my daughter's 7th grade basketball team plays on Sunday, and I think we have a game in the morning, but we'll get an episode in at some point, just like we did this week. Marcus Whitman at South Seneca. And another great chance. I think the first time ever having the Marcus Whitman girls on. I like what's going on with that program. And I like South Seneca, obviously. I just talked about them. So that'll be fun to be down there. And then a great, great night planned for Thursday, December 20th. I know it says the 18th on your screen, but it's the 20th. Love it when we do this varsity night doubleheader. Mynderse at Waterloo girls, followed by Mynderse at Waterloo boys. And these games should be just fantastic. Waterloo hasn't beaten Mynderse, the boys, since 2007. A lot of people think that this is the year they're going to get their first shot at home on December 20th. So great slate of games coming up here on Finger Lakes 1. And also, just take a look at the week ahead. Speaking of great slate of games, we have on the boys' side on Tuesday, Wayne at Waterloo on Finger Lakes 1. Just talked about it. Mynderse at Penn Yan. Those teams are very, that's like a positional round, I think very important for both teams. One team, the loser of that game, could have their season go a little south, where the winner get a little boost. And again, a matchup of B2 teams in Mynderse at Penn Yan. Lyons at Sodus. Hey, anytime Lyons hits the road against one of those second-tier Wayne County teams is a chance for them to slip up. Should be a really fun game to watch, though, if you can get to the gym in Sodus that night. if you can't, watch our webcast of Wayne Waterloo. Thursday night, ER at Lyons. Again, another game on Finger Lakes 1. Marcus Whitman at Red Jacket. So the Finger Lakes West favorites take a road trip to Red Jacket, a team that a lot of people have been saying to me that they're a little better than I've been giving them credit for. Friday night, Geneva at Wayne. Of course, hopefully Akeem Hudson's back for that one. Love to see Carmichael against Hudson on the inside. Waterloo at Penn Yan Friday again. Another one of those positional rounds. So big week for Penn Yan. Could see them going 2-0 or 0-2. On the girls' side of thing, on Tuesday, South Seneca's at Red Jacket. Probably the game of the year in the FL West. Without a doubt, game of the year in the FL West. And it's a rematch of last year's Section 5 Class C2 or C2 championship game. And Geneva's at Pelmac for the girls. That's a powerhouse matchup of number 1 and number 2 in the Finger Lakes East as far as I'm concerned. Penn Yan at Mynderse for the girls. Waterloo at Wayne for the girls. And then Wednesday, Marion goes to Williamson. And Friday, East Rochester's at Marion. Penn Yan's at Waterloo. Wayne's at Geneva. So how about that? Wayne and Geneva. Or no, yeah. Never mind. I got confused. Red Jacket at Marcus Whitman, too. Another big Finger Lakes West girls game. So there you have it. Man, just going to be a relentless grind to the end of the season here. And we just have a few weeks shy of Christmas, and then that Lyons North Star Christian game. Want to remind you just one more time. Come on, please get involved. Help me out here. I can't talk every episode for an hour when I don't have guests in here. We want you to get involved in the show. Call the Upstate Hoops hotline. Be a part of the next episode. 866-315-FLX1, 866-315-3591, extension 803. Leave your first name, where you're calling from, and then let her rip. I mean, I'm sure there's some people out there that don't agree with those power rankings we just laid down. So let us hear about it, and we'll play your call back during the show, and we'll try to answer any questions or have any type of discussion surrounding your phone call. So, and also get involved beyond that. Submit your scores and photos immediately following each game, or if you're at a game, tweet at us. You can send scores, pictures of scorebooks, videos, highlights to scores@fingerlakes1.com, or text 315-651-7500, or tweet at fingerlakes1. So thanks for hanging out with me for an hour here in this pre-recorded version of the Upstate Hoops Podcast. Connect with us on Twitter at fingerlakes1. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Our audio-only podcast is available on iTunes and Stitcher.com. Archived episodes are available at fingerlakes1.tv, and this podcast airs weekly on Finger Lakes TV, Spectrum Channel 1304. You can also find our show, live stream games, and local news, weather, and sports 24/7 on the free fingerlakes1.com Android or iPhone app. Thanks for joining me, and remember to check us out Tuesday night in Waterloo for Wayne Waterloo, and then it'll be Kevin Sharp and I for both these games, actually. And then Thursday night at the Atwood in Lyons for Lyons versus East Rochester. Everybody have a great week here in the Finger Lakes, and get out and enjoy some games.